We all want it, happy and harmonious relationships. I don't think any of us wake up one day and tell ourselves that we want to damage our relationships. But somehow people inadvertently stress and sometimes even destroy theirs by injecting them with a steady dose of relational toxicity. So what are some of these toxic habits? First of all, there's criticism. This is a very common corrosive habit that people have, which is to criticize their loved one, and even worse, to do it in a public way. While many people justify their criticism by saying they're trying to help the other person, it never feels good to be at the receiving end of that help. Not only does the receiver feel like they can never measure up, but criticism has actually been found to be very ineffective in changing behavior or improving performance. Instead, positive feedback focused on what's appreciated actually increases the likelihood of that action being repeated. A second one is defensiveness. This is a surefire way to shut down communication. When I don't listen or accept what the other person is saying, but I use all of my energy to deflect or avoid hearing what they're telling me. This can include counter-criticism, counterattack, or even the victim stance. It communicates that the problem isn't really me, it's you. Instead, try reflective listening, which doesn't actually mean that you always agree with what they're saying, by the way, but you're just doing your very best to hear them and understand their perspective. A third buster is control. Even if we mean well, if we tell our loved ones what to do or not do, we aren't relating to them as equals on a level playing field of balance, power, and mutual respect. This can be really subtle, because control is often exercised in the name of caring, whether it's over finances, choices of what to eat even, or where, or do. But this communicates to the other person that we don't respect their ability to make good decisions for themselves. Now, even if our loved ones have shown patterns of bad decisions, it's never a healthy idea to become their watchdog to police their choices. Instead, focus on the choices you have control over and set boundaries, but don't step in and tell them what to do. No one truly thrives in that type of relationship. The next one is anger. By this, I don't mean the emotion of anger itself, but it's the negative expression of that anger towards that other person. As our anger increases, we often use relationship-busting strategies like yelling, attacking, and just ratcheting up the intensity of the conflict. Now, even though we may have legitimate reasons to feel angry, using our anger as a weapon never works. Anger shuts down communication. So I might be right in what I'm saying, but I'm wrong in how I'm saying. The next one is contempt, and this is actually one of the most destructive of all the relationship busters because it communicates a deep disrespect and disregard for the other person. It shows itself in the form of derogatory comments, put-downs, extreme disrespect, either verbally or using disdainful body language, such as the famous eye roll. In fact, research has shown that this communication style can often do the most damage to a relationship and is the best predictor of divorce. Lastly, is suffocation. Okay, regardless of how the movie Jerry Maguire depicts a good relationship as one in which you complete me, this is actually bunk when it comes to a healthy relationship. This relationship buster is actually very subtle because the person seems to actually have only want to have positive interactions. They want to spend more time with you. But in fact, there's an underlying emotional dependency that causes people to cling to their loved ones or look to them for their emotional needs. Being apart or investing in other relationships or activities, they're seen as threatening. And so the loved ones are left feeling like they never get any space. So any of these sound like you? Be willing to admit to yourself when you use any of these relationship busters. Not only do they not work, but they can cause great hurt towards your loved ones. While you may experience temporary satisfaction, these strategies in no way lead to long-term relational happiness. I'm Dr. Mary.